Quite a significant difference this year is we've been able to implement historical cars, historical drivers and historical tracks for the first time in a Codemasters game, and not just a couple of cars which people can do a time trial experience, but actual Grand Prix scenarios, as well as being able to take them online in multiplayer. In terms of the content itself, there are 17 classic drivers, of which there are 10 world champions. Some huge names there: Nigel Mansell, Alain Prost, Mario Andretti, Emerson Fittipaldi, Jacques Villeneuve. There's a name there for every territory to have their kind of hero come back. Michael Schumacher for Germany. And in terms of cars, there's a mixture of Team Lotus, Williams and Ferrari. The earliest cars are 1980 Williams. There are 5 cars in the 1980 pack, 2 drivers in each, so a grid of 10. In the 1990s, there are 6 cars, so a grid of 12. And then there are 4 classic tracks as well. Brands Hatch and Jerez are both in 1980 configuration, and then Imola and Estoril are in 1990s configuration. And then just to finish it off, each kind of era has been time-stamped with a sort of filter and some sort of unique on-screen display HUD which kind of dates it to that period in time, so each kind of mode feels unique and different.
Compression in the car before feeding the car into the right. The car goes light on the exit and it's easy to overdo that one. Into turn 2, hug the inside nice and tight and sacrifice the exit to open up turn 3 the best you possibly can.
Yeah, the core gameplay's changed quite a lot as well. I mean, every year we try and move things forward, we try and learn from previous games, we try and respond to fan feedback. So Champions mode's been removed this year. We're 1 champion down in terms of the 2013 component with Michael Schumacher retiring. So we've now come up with a new scenario mode that's 20 kind of bite-sized bits of gameplay, charting a rookie driver from his first race all the way through to challenging for the World Championship. We've included a mid-race save, so one of the things that people were feeding back on is they would love to race longer races, but they just don't have an hour and a half or 2 hours to sit and play a game every night. So as a result of that, F1 was only appearing kind of to be played by the masses every couple of weeks. So now, if you've only got 20 minutes on an evening, you can go on, you can start your race, maybe you're 10 laps in, and you can save it and join it again at a later time. And because we've got that, we've put a real razor-sharp focus on all of the on-track actions. So AI, we've got an extra difficulty level, and they're much improved. They're much more likely to overtake, to attack each other, to make contact, which then, triggers improvements to the penalty system. It triggers improvements to the frequency that the safety car comes out. Tyres are new this year as well in terms of their wear rate and the sort of strategy behind that. Improvements to the weather system, and last but not least, visually this year we've really been able to extract every last bit of power from the current generation of consoles. So the cars in particular are looking fantastic this year.
Come qualifying, you've got the car there for you with all that downforce. Slow it all down now though, into the new loop section. Turn 3 and into turn 4, very easy to lock up the inside front wheel as it goes unloaded through that left-hander, and watch out for the rear stepping out as well, as you're still demanding a lot from the rear tyres at that stage.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a developer you're never happy with anything, or certainly the guys will testify to that in the studio. We kind of always seem to be seeking that next level. Certainly in terms of Formula 1, this is our 4th version, and we've still got many more ideas on the back burner in terms of what we want to deliver. It is challenging doing an annual game and kind of what is new. I mean, this year it's kind of easy because classic stuff's not been in our franchise before, and that gives people 11 different cars, all with completely different handling characteristics to play with for the first time. But yeah, innovation is always going to be a challenge in terms of putting enough content in there for people to justify buying the game year on year. But that's something that we kind of strive to make sure that we do. We know we've got a team size of about 70 or 80 guys working on the game for a year, and we push ourselves hard to make sure that it is the most complete experience it can be each year. Yeah, it's mainly a cost, really. I mean, the license itself, as you can imagine, is not the cheapest license in the world. And in addition to that, that's kind of only deals with the content that's in the modern season. So then to license an 11 further cars, 17 further drivers, 4 further tracks, it was really a cost that kind of would only make sense if we could offset that against DLC and against a limited edition run. Probably not to this game. I mean, obviously from a development point of view, we've got to think about next gen. in terms of when we first came and did Formula 1 games in 2010, we took 2 years up to make sure that we do it right and we push the hardware. So I don't think we want to spread ourselves too thin in terms of trying to cater for additional stuff for 2013, as well as trying to focus on getting next gen to the area where it needs to be. But in terms of, it's taken upwards of 2 years to try and sign some of this content for 2013. So discussions are always ongoing. We want F1 Classics to perhaps be in future editions, but of course that goes down with how appealing it is and how much the game sells, I guess. Yeah, I mean, the basic rule set is the same, but the cars handle completely different. Whereas the modern cars, it's about consistency. It's about everything coming at you at sort of breakneck speeds and super grip through the corners. The Classics is almost completely the opposite. Things come to you much slower, and really it's about getting the car to the corner and then wrestling it probably for the next through the corner and out the other side. You're trying to control wheel spin, you're trying to control oversteer moments. It's a little bit like, I guess, big American muscle cars in other games and how they differ from, say, fast European sports cars. I guess that's the kind of appeal which is going to appeal to the more casual person, but it's also going to appeal to the hardcore guys as well.
And that's a lap of Silverstone.